Hello guys, this is Dr. Lior Bar-El, and I got some sad news here to bring to y'all. I'm sure we already knew the curtain call was coming, and I know that there was a lot of issues, and right now I'm glad one of my friends is safe, who has his own GameStop, and another one of my friends who's a district manager told me some things about it that I was actually in total shock about. And some rumors that need to be corrected here that I wanted to make sure some people knew. So anyways, let's get right into it. Hello guys, so GameStop. I mean, first off, I'm just going to say this. I know a lot of us have mixed feelings about it. The GameStops near me, one of them closed that I told you was absolutely honest. The ones around me, I was blessed to have really, you know, a bunch of honest workers in the ones that I had. A friend of mine who has the one in the mall near me that, you know, lets me play games, you know, games you guys don't request. I do reviews for you guys from time to time. I bring it up anyway and let you guys know certain games that are out there and how it plays and so on and so forth. This guy is really amazing. His store is amazing. He runs it on honesty. He doesn't pressure his workers to basically to make you a member, to do that. They do mention it, but they don't push their customers to do it, and they don't cheat their customers into it like some of them are doing, and obviously gave a bad rep to a bunch of other GameStops, and of course that's what led to the decline of it. Now, I know people are going into the digital era, and because of that, everybody, you know, the physical games nobody really wants. It's a very stupid thing, I'll tell you. With the Nintendo Switch, I get it. You know, why they're going digital, and that's fine. But other games out there like the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, the truth of the matter is, yes, and you know, I came close to getting banned for no reason on my Nintendo Switch. And this is what it comes down to, guys. Physical games are always going to be better than digital. I don't care what anybody says. Unless you're going portable, there's, you know, no sense. I could see both. You know, you don't want to carry a bunch of games with you. You put it all on a memory stick and that's it. But in terms of this, think about it. When you want to sell your system to buy a newer system, you want to sell all your games and all of that to make enough to buy a new system with a game or whatever. You won't be able to do that if you got digital copies. It just doesn't transfer. I know on PC you could sell them. I know some of them you could sell. But the majority of them, it won't allow you to resell them out into the market. And that's the major issue that I don't see how people could go into that. But whatever. It is what it is. You know, to everybody, it's, you know, whatever floats your boat. To me, I'm a collector. I like to have, you know, a game collection for my PlayStation 4 games. I always buy physical copies. The thing is, for my Nintendo Switch, I buy physical copies and sometimes downloadable content because I'm working 3 jobs to make this, you know, to make this channel, you know, be here. And because of that, I rarely have time to go out to the store and pick it up in day one, or, you know, have it delivered to my house a day later. I want to give you guys the first day review, and it's kind of hectic, so sometimes I revert to going into downloadable games. Anyways, the thing is, that's why we all knew GameStop is going under regardless of everything. I don't know why they didn't make it. Like now, I know in Manhattan they have a GameStop with a, you know, a geeky thing and everything, like for geeks and stuff, which I like. Star Wars memorabilia, all kinds of things. ThinkGeek. It has a whole downstairs dedicated to ThinkGeek. And they don't have that. They have a few ThinkGeek items up there and all that, and it came too little too late. And it just sucks. But in Manhattan, it looks really good. Unfortunately, not all the stores are like that. So I asked my friend in the mall, and he told me, he said, no, my store is safe because we're making money, you know, honesty and everything, and he's making money because it's a mall. The one near me on 71st Continental closed, and it was an amazing store, and I hope everybody there finds a job. They were amazing people, really informative, and I don't care what anybody says. You can't get that kind of service in Walmart or Target. The people there have no idea what they're talking about. Not that there's no gamers there that do. It's just there's a lot of them that don't belong in that position and are there because they're doing clothes and the next day they're working electronics. You know, in Best Buy, it's pretty awesome. You got some people that are knowledgeable there. I have a friend of mine that's, you know, that is in Best Buy, and they're really knowledgeable. But it's not like a GameStop, a Funkoland, a, you know, electronics boutique. And of course, they took that over, GameStop. It's not, you know, and I'm going to miss it. And here's the news here. And there's some rumors that are out there, especially on what is called Legacy Delete. Now, to some extent, that's true. Anybody that makes over $15 an hour in New York, because, you know, that's what they did. They forced a $15 an hour wage. So anybody that goes over $15 an hour, they're going to get pretty much let go. And then they're going to hire new people for $15 an hour or whatnot, or even have one guy operating the job of a billion people, okay? So basically what happened is my friend who's a district manager, instead of having a few, now he's actually in charge of 20 stores, which is insane because they usually were about 5 to 10. Now it's 20 stores. So they're literally putting a ton of pressure on them. And if they can't deal with it, they kick them out. Now, this Legacy Delete thing, there's something that you guys need to hear. It's not for everybody. Okay, I know a lot of these paid-for reviewers out there are making videos just for the sake of videos, and I really hated it, and I heard this news, and I went out there, and I said, you gotta be kidding me. I was pissed off, so I went and spoke to my friends. I did some investigation for y'all, and I could tell you that this Legacy Delete, to some extent, it's true, but it's not for everybody, okay? For those who are not doing good in their performances, they're not looking for an excuse to kick you out, because I have a friend of mine who's a district manager, is not doing that well, and he admits he's not doing that well, and they're not getting rid of him. But there's others that are doing semi-well, and still they're kicking them out based on other things that are, you know, reported. For example, if there's like theft or something like that in the store, and they, you know, they're not doing anything about it. They're not, you know, I forgot what it was called. They have some investigator coming in, making sure, God, I keep forgetting the name of that important position. And they go in every store pretty much, and they, lost in prevention. That's what it is. And basically, they don't do anything, those district managers. They don't care about making their GameStop higher and above. And somehow, even though their GameStop is doing a little well, the losses are too much or something like that. And because of that, they fire them. They're not looking for an excuse to fire people and just keep on, you know, they're going to follow them and see how they're doing and they fire you. That's not exactly what's going on right now. In fact, the Legacy Delete, he even said there's no such thing, but they are trying to get rid of regular workers. That could be what they mean by that, what the, you know, these rumors are about. Regular workers that are making over $15 an hour, they're trying to let them go at this time. So if, let's say, a worker was there for like 10 years and he's working in the store and he's making more than $15 an hour, they're not going to look for an excuse to fire him. They're pretty much, some of them, they're going to look at their performance and then they're going to say, well, you know what? We have to let you go. This is the reason we're not making enough money. Yeah, and pretty much everyone in GameStop that works, everyone that's even working in my friend's store, already have 2 jobs, okay? In New York, you can't make it unless you have 2 jobs. You know that you always got a backup job to help you out. So most of the people in these stores already knew the curtain call was, you know, it's there. You know, they're about to close the curtains on GameStop. So a lot of them already know it, and they work it as a side gig, and they're working in other jobs as well, okay? Or they're working, this is their main job and a side gig on another, and they don't care. They'll eventually make that side gig their main job while they look for another job. I mean, that's the way we operate in New York. Unfortunately, some of them did get let go. In his store, they didn't. And some of the stores that are around me, they didn't. So I could tell you that this legacy thing is, to some extent, nonsense, but they are getting rid of some people that are making above the $15 an hour if a certain store cannot afford it. So basically, they give a budget to every store, and if the managers in the beginning would hire like 10, 15, 20 people, right? So if those 10, 15, 20 people worked forever, they would split their positions into, you know, a bunch of little, you know, a few hours here, a few hours there, and they wouldn't give them full-time work anyway. Most of them would already have quit. So they use this as like a second job, as a side gig. So most of those people that had this side gig, they were there and they requested more money because obviously they were there for a long time and they deserve it. And what happens is the boss would say, well, we can't afford it. We hire 20 people. Even though we cut hours, we're still not making, you know, we're going over budget. And now they reduced our budget. So now, unfortunately, we have to let people go. And instead of starting from the bottom up, they're starting from the top up. Now, there's positives and negatives to that. The positive, in New York, it's, you know, obviously everybody worked at part-time. Not a lot of them are full-time workers anyway. They knew this thing was coming. They already have backup, you know, contingency plans and all of that stuff. So it doesn't really affect them. But there's a lot in other states that use this as their main job. And for them is the ones that I, you know, they're the people I feel for. And I feel obviously for those even in New York. But I'm saying, you know, these are people that count on this job. And unfortunately, you know, based on performance, which everyone that works in GameStop, you know, if you don't make the quota, they fire you anyway. So basically, these people that were making a certain amount of money were let go because they weren't making the quota that they're supposed to per that, you know, position for that money. Now, whether they were looking for an excuse to fire them or not, and every store, that's subjective. Every store will be a different, you know, a boss will be different, a boss will be whatever, and they'll make that decision based on that. But the district manager is basically telling them now they're reducing the budget. So now you're going to see most of the GameStops having less people in there. Okay, so there's nothing, you know, this is just the name of the game. Businesses are going down, and there's positives and negatives to starting from the top up. Usually from the top up, people in the top don't, you know, people could argue they don't do as much as work as those in the bottom. So if you got a guy in the bottom, let's say another man is getting a salary who is all the way on top, the district manager, scoring about 60 to 70,000 a year, and then you got a worker that's selling your games and everything. Who are you going to fire? The guy who's basically giving commands and, you know, making sure the stores are doing good and you need like 100 of them? Or you could just give one guy, instead of every district manager doing 10, you're going to have them do 20. You get rid of some of the district managers while some of the workers you try to leave on intact because they're the ones selling your product. So there's positives and negatives to each one. It depends on what the man on top, whoever the hell it is, the CEO, decides to do. And, you know, the district managers are pissed off, those who were let go, but because these were career jobs. And unfortunately, if they didn't see this coming, then I don't know what to say. Most of them, in fact, my friend, he told me all of them knew that any day their number's up. They know that any day there's no security, and all of them were already looking for other positions. And he said most of the people that they let go bounced back and just found another job. But again, this is in New York, so I don't know how it is in other states. And I really pray, I'm going to pray for everybody to find jobs and everything's going to be good on there, on that end. But the thing is, they're not firing, you know, it's not guaranteed that they fired all of these guys based on legacy. So some of these legacy guys are still there working in the store. Some of the legacy people in the district management are the same thing. And they actually have, they do care if you have seniority. If you were a district manager, the more seniority you have. And I remember there was a video, I'm not going to mention who was saying, I can't believe those who were loyal to them, they're kicking out. And those who are, you know, for them hiring new guys who are not, that's not exactly what's happening. What happens is, let's say a guy was there for a year and another guy was there for 10 years. So if you're a district manager and you were there and you're getting a salary, it's just a matter of budget. They have to let you go because you're making the most money. It's not, and they're not counting on some guy from the street to come in and take his job. That's absolutely wrong. That's not what's happening. They're basically having two guys, both of them are making 70,000. They're firing one guy, so one guy is doing the work of two. Okay, instead of getting 10 stores, they get 20 stores. Okay, and that's basically what it is. So they're just trying to do cuts here and there to cut corners to try to make this thing stay afloat, because obviously they know things are about to, you know, hit the fan. And everybody in GameStop already understands that. They know there's absolutely no job security. Even my friend that's in the mall, that's working in the mall, they're doing great and they're not going to close down. And he said the reason why we don't close down, and he even admitted to me, one of his workers, he said most of these GameStop guys don't really care about this job. I do care. We care about our customers. We're honest with them. We do that. And they're so honest, it's unbelievable. They're painfully honest. They're brutally honest. And they're a success. But at the same time, he told me, I said, so you guys are going to stay afloat? And he goes, we don't know. But to be honest, it's a side gig. And again, now if you're working in a small town and this is your main job, you know, obviously I feel for you guys. You guys, it's hard to get, you know, multiple jobs. In New York, you really can't make it unless you have more than one job. It really is the way it is. I know some people do it. I don't know how the hell they do it, but it is what it is. So it's the Legacy Delete is not exactly it. They're even letting go of people who are new. So they're cutting down people. So 20 in a store, there's going to be 5 in the store. Legacy or not, it doesn't make a difference. They're doing major cuts everywhere that they could possibly do. And they're starting to bring new memorabilia and stuff to start selling. They should have done this ages ago. It's too late for GameStop. Everybody knows anytime soon it's going to go down. What I hope they do is remain online, be a sort of a community, kind of join, let GameSpot buy them out or something like that and kind of have a work deal with them. I don't know. The thing is, I'm going to miss this store. I really wanted my kids to know what this store was all about. I know there's horror stories and stuff, and those stores are going to be the ones that close down. This is not one of them, the ones that I have around me. And those that, I know some of you guys had great experiences with GameStop. And, you know, now the reality is it's going out of business, right? There's a lot of them. They're doing more cuts and more GameStops are closing out. So you should look at the positive side to that. This is the time you buy old systems. This is the time you could buy games for dirt cheap. So you could do some positive things in that. I know a lot of the one near me that closed down, the workers there bought out most of the games and most of the consoles, and I'm happy because that'll put them a little bit, you know, as they sell it and they make the money, that'll put them a little, you know, till they find another job. Obviously, they'll have unemployment and all of that stuff, and I hope that they find another job really quick because they deserve it. They were amazing, and it was one of the most saddest days of my life to see one of these relics, this big part of my childhood, go down. And everybody there already knows it's coming. And again, this legacy crap, it's everybody's getting hit by this. Everyone that works in GameStop, whether you're new or old, are getting hit. They're just targeting more of that. Some of them in some stores, they don't, and you know, and district managers, they're not cutting all of them down and hiring new people. That's, whoever said that is an idiot and is a liar. What happened is they had 2 district managers. Both of them are making the same money. They're getting rid of one of them. If he's making a little more, they'll get rid of him and let him go just because of budget cuts. But it doesn't necessarily mean they were there longer. It just means they're making more. Their stores aren't doing good. They're not looking for an excuse or anything like that. They're really strategic in what they're picking to close and what not to close. They're looking at underperforming stores. They're closing it down. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. They're trying to stay afloat because perhaps once the gaming industry changes, or if it changes, you know, there's a lot of stores. Even Target almost went bankrupt one time and they came back alive. WWE almost went bankrupt and came back alive. Sometimes you need to do something to stay. So anyway, guys, that's what they need to do. They need to stay afloat till sometime, till something works, and then afterwards they could probably recover, if that's even possible. That's my baby right here. I gotta take her out for a walk. So I'm gonna have to leave. So anyways, just wanted to let you guys know. So there's some truths in this, but it's mostly rumor. They're getting rid of pretty much everybody. They're cutting, you know, as much as they can, as many corners as they possibly can, just to make, you know, just to try to stay afloat, so perhaps it could change and maybe they could get saved. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. As always, self-funded here. This is you know, this is the people's channel. This is our channel. This is where we're in charge. Real people. I want to see you guys comment down below. What do you think? Let's both together in everything that every review, anything that I do here. Let's all you know, help people, give back to the community, to get, you know, by helping them make better informed decisions and sift through all this paid for reviewer garbage that exists on here and pretty much everywhere on the net. So anyways, we're doing this together. We're growing slowly but surely, and let's just do it. So share, like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Definitely many more to come. I'm actually working. That's why it's kind of shivering a little bit, the camera. I'm working on a Star Killer, entire suit, everything, you name it. I'm working on a Sub-Zero cybernetic costume as well, a Cyborg Initiative costume. I'm doing all kinds of things right now, so there's a lot of giveaways coming out very soon. I'm still working on some things. It takes forever to do them, but believe me, it's worth it. Those of you guys that won, you guys know, you wrote how much you loved it and everything, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to perfect it, trying to make more. Eventually, one day when I get a bigger place or whatnot, you know, New York, it's kind of tough to say that, but if it happens and I move to another state, or it'll happen, I'll be able to build me 3 3D printers and be doing the job of, you know, perhaps I could give away even more. But so far, so good. It's working out. Everything slowly but surely, but it's happening. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.
As always, guys, if you like what you see, self-funded here, be sure to check out all my other stuff, from mini-series to unboxings to technology, you know, and Nintendo reviews and 3D printer reviews and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, the only way you can help the channel is by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell button. As many more cool videos to come. Definitely want you guys in it, and I want you guys to be vocal. Definitely comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.